Welcome to the First and Inches podcast, where every play counts and every take hits hard. Right. David is repping the dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs. George bleeds black and gold for Steeler Nation, and AP is still waiting on the Vikings to show up in February. We're breaking down the biggest stories in football, baseball, and anything in between. We're calling it like we see it, and no fan base is safe. Touchdown! This is the First and Inches podcast.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Hello and welcome back to the First and Inches podcast, everybody. I am Jorge.
Hooks.
What up, boys? AP.
What's up, guys? So how's it been since
Man.
we last spoke?
How are you guys?
Man, what a week of football. It was actually quite a few good games this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
Quite a
really
few
was.
Late games that got decided. I'll start off and say I wanted Denver and I wanted the Bills to both lose. So the best case scenario that could have happened is the Bills lose and Denver loses their starting quarterback Knicks on the last play, which, you know, the Broncos are 5.5 point favorite or 5.5 point underdogs at home now because of the fact that they're going to be bringing Jared Stidham. So I want no AFC West to win, and the lovable Pats, who everybody hated for so many years, now they're okay to like again. But their winning record, their record against teams with a winning record is only 3-2 on the season. So it should be a good game.
The hate is real.
Yeah,
Just because your team sucks doesn't mean the whole division needs to suck.
right. Yeah, I agree.
Golly, that's terrible. But don't get me wrong. I do not wish any success to the Browns, the Bengals, or the Ravens ever. So I get it. What do you think? I mean, did you see anything on the replay about how he broke that ankle? I was so confused.
I heard it. I thought it was whenever he was taken, then when he was kneeling.
That's what they said.
Yeah, but I don't see how that happened, and he certainly didn't appear to have broke it then. But I feel like if you break an ankle, it's right away. You know, nothing that you'd show signs of it.
So what does that tell you, kids? Stop celebrating the victory formation. Don't do it. If you get a big save in the World Baseball Classic,
Yeah.
not jump and celebrate.
Not
This is
pile on.
nothing but bad news. Okay, so I was expecting the 49ers to lose, but I was not expecting the 49ers to not show up. What do y'all think about that game?
I
They
think it
got
was just as telling. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Hooks. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I agree. I think the 49ers not showing up was just as telling as anything, right? I don't know if I think they lost the game more than, in my opinion. That was a pathetic showing.
Now they lost. Like, I mean, if you just put the numbers together with Ayuk, Kittle, Warner, Pearsall, they had quite a few players that eventually it was going to catch up with them. And boy, did Sam Darnold impress, winning a big game against the 49ers.
Losing, the 49ers lost that game, not Sam Darnold.
I mean, the stats would say Sam Darnold didn't really do too much
Correct.
to win that game. So I understand that.
Correct.
But when you have a game general out there, the way that he was, you know, they kept a good time of possession on the ball. They had a lot of plays compared to the 49ers. So I thought he did a great job to put themselves, you know, to put the team in a position to do what they did on both sides of the ball. So you got to give it to him.
Man,
The
Kenneth
play
Walker.
calling is what got them, that kept him from making the errors, is what happened. Not anything else, guys. He was
Okay,
a
well-
because the plays that were called, if the 49ers wouldn't have lost the game for themselves and they asked Sam Darnold to extend to actually play football, they would have lost.
Gosh, okay. So we're hating on Darnold just because he's not playing for you.
Mm.
But
Oh,
if
correct.
he were playing for you, you're like,
Correct.
whoa, that was a great performance by
Yeah,
Darnold,
well,
wasn't it?
I'm not teasing. I'm not tiptoeing around that. I own
The
it.
hate is real today. All right, what do y'all think about the other games?
So, I mean, I just want to go back to. I mean, we're 4 days away from the playoffs with the Rams and the Seahawks, and I mean, like Sam Darnold actually has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you that Vikings team with Sam Darnold may be in that boat.
What do you mean?
Maybe in the boat that they're in the playoffs right now, playing to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah. Everybody acts like they just said, no, to hell with Darnold. We don't want you. They tried to re-sign him. He just got a better deal elsewhere. I mean, that's all that happened. Just like Kyle Tucker got a better deal elsewhere. That's it. They just outbid him. I mean, at what point do you stop, right? I mean, he choked the last 2 weeks of the season, game 17. I mean, the last week of the season and then the playoffs. I mean, they're going off what they know. And like I said, if Sam Darnold needs to step up, just as he said before, he sees ghosts and he'll choke. We can talk and give him all. We can glaze Sam Darnold all we want. But I'm telling you, the guy, if it's pressed to do well, to step up, to play a game, to throw the ball, he'll choke. But let's glaze him, guys. Let's do it. I think that's what we do. Let's make this an X-rated podcast and let's just Sam Darnold. Let's do it.
We're not going to talk about your dreams in this podcast, but okay. Are you saying that you at some point stop throwing money at him and let him walk?
Yeah. I mean, this is the same thing that happened at the beginning of the season. Everybody was like, "Can you believe they let Daniel Jones go?" Daniel Jones didn't even play, wasn't even active for a single game for the Vikings. They have nothing to suggest that he would have done anything. So let's go. Let's play it out. Sam Darnold had a great regular season. Now, I think, Hooks, you just said that the 49ers, not the 49ers, the Patriots were 3-2 with games above 500. So you're thinking like, hey, are they real? Are they not? Are they phony? Are they pretender? And then you take that same logic, because you don't know. You take that same logic with Sam Darnold and what he did with the Vikings last year. And the logic suggests, why keep throwing money over him? He was choked. He didn't do well. End of story. You can't look at things ahead and think, and he didn't even play. I mean, he played really well, like a great season, but not as good as he played with the Vikings. I'm saying that if the 49ers wouldn't have lost last week, played horribly, as Jorge articulately put, then there's no way Sam Darnold wins that game for him. He managed the game because of the play call.
So when you say that they stopped throwing money at Darnold, I mean, he got a 3-year, $90 million contract with 1 year guaranteed. He got $30 million.
But he had a guaranteed starting spot. They were saying that you're still going to have to compete with J.J. McCarthy, potentially.
That's crazy. First of all,
what's crazy about it?
Don't give this argument about don't pay him too much to the Dodgers fan over here, because they'll pay everybody too much. They don't care.
They'll just buy up everybody. They'll buy him and release him.
But are you honestly telling me that it was going to be a competition training camp between him and JJ McCarthy?
Well, let me just tell you, I'm not there, as you guys know, but I'm saying that everything that they said and suggested that there was JJ McCarthy was their guy. They're not wasting a top 10 pick on him without it. Understanding that the architecture of the contract was that it was guaranteed money if he started. I don't know how it worked. I don't know how the layout went. So he went with the Seahawks, like anybody would. But it don't act like everybody does this, and they want to give me shit about the Vikings and about Sam Darnold. But really, when you think about it, the last 2 weeks he fell apart. The last 2 weeks he fell apart because he had to step up and play football, and he didn't do it. And he hasn't done it. Like he hasn't. Let's see this week if it's a competitive game, we'll see. And then we can have a whole different discussion, and I will take back my words and say, I was right, but it won't happen because he hasn't done it otherwise.
Can't wait. I'm picking the Seahawks to all the way.
All right.
And Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVP.
Okay. Yeah. He's mid. Anyway.
The Rams, man, I'll tell you, they just keep evolving their offense. I mean, McVay he waits and figures out which players he's going to have. And it's like, okay, they'll go 11 personnel, they'll go 12 personnel, they'll go 13 personnel. And he just figures out a way to get the best out of all his players that are healthy. And I think he's the best coach in the NFL right now, even though Andy Reid is a stud. But
Ben Johnson's pretty great. I like what he's done in Chicago.
What about that play? Was it Jorge that play that Caleb Williams had there towards the end of the game?
It's ridiculous, man. I don't understand that guy. He's done it all year.
Yeah,
so it's not like, oh, surprise. Yeah, exactly.
He's talented. He has a way to be elusive because when that collapses on him, he manages to get away. It's pretty impressive.
And he's a pretty strong guy. You could tell because, not many quarterbacks can get the ball there. the way he threw it from his back foot, basically falling backwards and made it all the way to the end zone. I don't think many quarterbacks could have done that.
No,
if
not at all.
if they had won that game, that's all we would be talking about right now is that play.
I know.
And
I thought they were going to, man. It was
And
just
I wanted them
ridiculous.
to for that.
But you know
Honestly.
what? When you throw, how many interceptions did he throw? 3, 4? You deserve to lose. When you throw 3 interceptions in a game, you do not deserve to win and play another week. Not in the playoffs.
It almost looked like DJ Moore gave up on that play and wasn't even running the route that he was supposed to, that last interception.
In the overtime? Right. I
Mhm.
agree.
I don't even know what he's doing. Like, he wasn't really looking for, I mean, at all times, especially with what just happened to go into overtime, you have to be looking at your quarterback and seeing how the play is developing. If you're the 4th option, if you're the 5th option, I don't even care. You need to be prepared for that damn ball to come to you. And you need to be prepared that he might have to scramble and you're going to run some other route than you were running before. You got to figure out where are you on the field? Where are the defenders? Where's an area that you can go and camp out? Whatever it is, you can't just be like, I'm running, blah, 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 as if it was a running play the whole time. Ridiculous.
I agree.
So how bad did the Texans look against New England?
Well, I think it was CJ Stroud, man. Like, that guy he looked like he was going to set the earth on fire, but he has regressed mightily. And the last 2 weeks, good Lord, he doesn't even seem like that guy's a stud, right? I mean, absolute stud. And these last 2 weeks have been looks like JJ McCarthy.
He was a stud his first year in the league, but the last 2 years, they've
Kinda
been
regressed a little.
average.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad that the Steelers had to lose to him, of all people. But
Yeah.
I mean, then again, Steelers, we didn't belong there either. So that game probably shouldn't have played. They should have just flipped a coin, the week before and not even play the game at all. But whatever. I'm glad he's out of the playoffs. They don't deserve, with him to be in there going any further either.
Yeah, you're right. The last 2 weeks, even if they would have won, just seeing how lack of competitive the whole team looked, you're right. It didn't make for a good AFC Championship game either. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yep.
and with no Nico Collins, that hurt. And Tank Dell will be back next year. Like they get his wide receivers because Nico was hurt all year this
That's
year
true.
and last year. So give him some time with the good wide receivers and get these rookies that they drafted, get them up to par. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, he's a special player too. Yeah.
So who's winning the Denver New England game?
Oh, I think New England's going to just ramrod them. I think if Bo Nix would have played, I think it was going to be competitive, but I don't think they have a shot. I think Drake May is going to eviscerate them.
I don't think Drake May has to do too much. He just needs to play a normal game. I think the New England can come out with a win with 20 points. And I just don't see Denver being able to sustain enough drives to score enough points to give themselves a chance. I just don't see that.
I agree. They might be able to do 1 or 2, but I don't think they can do it all game to compete with what that.
They pull out all stops and start doing a bunch of weird plays and trick plays and things like that out of desperation?
No, I don't think, because Stedman is going to be your quarterback, and I think it could go colossally bad. So no, but I see where you're going. It might be the only option.
Well, they're going to sell out for the running game, because they know, I think we all know that he can't beat them. So they'll sell out for the running game. So they might play off of that and the aggressiveness against the running game and maybe try to do something. But I don't think you have 15 trick plays in your book to be able to pull out enough points, enough drives and enough points to come out with a win at home, sadly.
I wished it wasn't Sean Payton there, but all 3 of us are going to say New England, and all 3 of us are going to look like idiots next week. So
no, there's no way.
Who's going to win the Rams and Seahawks game?
Rams.
Seahawks. Already told you.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Their defense is great, man. They've been playing great.
If they win, it's not because you guys schlobbing Sam Darnold. It's because their defense.
We're going to get banned.
You guys need Sam Darnold jerseys is what you need.
Let's talk about the Dodgers signing Kyle Tucker and the Mets going out and getting Bo Bichette. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you guys go because it's your guys' communism. Go ahead.
I don't care about the damn Dodgers. I don't care who they sign at this point. I think they signed Mendoza already too. And
yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter. Listen, I think this is the year where maybe you have too much talent. I hope there's some some bad blood in the clubhouse. Something happens. Something weird's gonna happen, and y'all are not gonna win with all this talent. That's what's gonna happen. You can go ahead and sign anybody else you want at this point. We don't care.
Yeah.
So the reality is baseball. You can clip this. I've said this many times. The best team doesn't always win in a baseball series, but I mean they're giving themselves a good chance. I mean that lineup's going to be
Well,
pretty stacked.
you say the best team, and it's not the most highly spent team. Baseball's lost parity because their lack of a salary floor, not a salary cap, because of lack of a salary floor. Baseball has lost that, and over the last 10 years, nobody in the bottom half of the payroll has gone on to win the World Series. So that is an issue. It's not an issue for the Dodgers spending. However, I think what happens is that they're egregious, paying a guy like Kyle Tucker, who, as you guys know, I was a big fan. I thought 10 years, 450, but this is ridiculous. But the deal is they set this precedent, just like this Mets did with Soto. And you pay so much for this talent that now the bar's been set so high that it's going to create this colossal effect that's going to be a problem. I don't know if the lockout is going to happen in 2027, but no matter what, if you're an owner, it does not sit well that the Dodgers are paying more and more and more for a 4 or 5 win player like Kyle Tucker is, but he's not worth 60. I mean, I guess he is worth 60 million because the market said he is, but it's just the Dodgers and Mets market. So, and I'm not going to get into this whole thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, the owners could do it if they wanted to." I don't know. I'm not spending their money, but I am saying though, if you go by evaluation of what the market says, a guy with X amount of WAR or whatever production he brings, the Dodgers, just like the Mets did with Soto, have paid so far above it that it's an extreme outlier. It's an extreme outlier. And it's bad for baseball in the sense that now they're going to have to create, which, well, I guess it's not bad in the long run. They need a salary floor. That's the only way this thing can be competitive again. They're paying in luxury tax alone more than I think 14 other teams' total roster. That's not right.
At this point, I don't even know if a salary floor is the answer.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to make other teams overspend.
Yeah.
When they're still not going to be able to get all the pieces they need to really be competitive with the top 5-6 teams in the league. So
yeah, good point. You're right. They're going to get them to that point, and then you're going to have an even worse product because you've leveraged so much of your assets. I mean, your cash to certain assets that might not get them over that hump to be competitive. Yeah, you're right.
And then what do you do? I mean, the way it shakes out right now, if you have all these teams at the bottom with very small payrolls, and you tell all those teams you got to increase, your ceiling, your floor is maybe 40% more than that, 30% more than that. Are we going to just overpay players? Because it's not like there's a bunch of really good players that go unsigned, and that's why these teams are not paying very much. So we're going to overpay players just because you have to get to a salary floor.
That's a good point. And then or those players are even going to want to sign there? Why would any player? I mean, the money's there, right? And if, according to some people, they're not chasing the money, which, I mean, if I was a player, I'd be chasing the money. But yeah, you're right. Because then you have a problem about where do you even allocate that dollars to? And you're paying $40 million. You're basically turning it into the NBA at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that I can tell you is clip this a year from now, there will be no salary cap. There may be a salary floor, but there will be no salary cap. We may see scrub players, but they are not. The players union will not agree to a salary cap. It can't happen. Won't happen.
And okay, listen, the economics of the game, and not just baseball, any other game, the way things are going, if you look at how much money is generated by a league, specifically the NFL, but in general now versus 15 years, 10, 20 years ago, it's ridiculous, right? With all the advertising,
the TV,
all
contracts.
The naming rights, TV contracts, you name it. So if you put a salary cap and you tell the Dodgers, hey, you can only spend this much money or whatever, right? That just means the owners get to keep the rest of the money. I mean, does that seem kind of fair when your athletes are the ones really generating it? Because it doesn't matter at this point if you have 3 superstars, 5 superstars, or 12 superstars like they do now. But you got an Ohtani and you got 2 championships under your belt back to back. They're going to generate a tremendous amount of revenue. So if you can't share or give that revenue to players, who's going to keep it? They're not going to pay employees a little bit, a lot more. The owners are just going to keep that. Maybe they're going to invest more into other things for the team, but not necessarily the product. when the product is the reason why you're able to generate all this income. So I think that it needs to be shared with players, and a cap would be a detriment to that purpose.
So I looked, and there's 15 teams. Sorry, there's 15 teams that can compete financially, that can go sign any one of the players. You can go and look yourself. There's at least 15 that can sign any player they want to, if they want to. And then there's probably 15 teams that can't.
Yeah, but I mean, signing one player you want to, and then that's just one piece, and it's not going to get you to where you need to be to win championships. What's the point? What's the point of spending that extra money on that one player?
And they can't miss some of those 15 teams that you stated, Hooks, though. They can't miss, though, if they're signing a big contract like that. If they miss,
like a rundown. Yeah,
exactly.
It's detrimental year over year over year. I mean, we joke around about it, but look what the Reds did with Moustakas. Once they got out from underneath there, they signed Jamer Candelario. That's still, they're still paying. Those are two massive misses by them, and they're still. I mean, that's basically 10 to 12% of their payroll is tied up to people they have released because they are so bad of a contract. But that's my point, is that you have the Dodgers and Mets and all these other teams that are paying so much to these players that can afford to miss. If Kyle Tucker shreds his ACL in spring training, do you think that they're not going to be worse for the wear by that much? They're the same damn team that they won the World Series back-to-back years. If the Reds miss, and this is like a player a quarter, Tucker and Candelario, then that's preventing them from signing that other player. Like if they're part of that 15, right? That other player. I don't know the right answer. I'm just saying that when they keep driving up the value for players like that, it makes it even harder for these other teams to even come close to it. But you're right. I mean, if the players work that, like Jorge said, then they should get the money. I don't know the right answer, but it sucks.
What about the Hall of Fame? Let's talk about the two.
Yes.
Jorge's not in the office, and he's got his Beltran framed photo or framed jersey. Tell us about the greatness of Beltran.
Man, he was the greatest cheater ever known to me. Remember when he had a job and then got fired? And
for a day? It was like a day, right?
Yeah, because of the scandal. But listen, I don't know if you've seen this video of him talking about his preparation before the season back in the day. He would call it leaving it all out or something like that. He would do, I think, 50 swings from the left side, 50 swings from the right side on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was up to 600 swings from each side by Friday. That's ridiculous. When he said that his hands were bleeding by then, I was like, I believe it, because I go to the cages and hit 50 balls in one day, and I'm struggling, right? So that amount of dedication is what I guess propels you to play at that level, to where one day you can become a Hall of Famer. So congratulations to him. I love watching him play, mostly when he was with the Mets. That was my favorite time. That jersey I have was game used. He gave it to me, but he didn't sign it. It was like, I forgot what game it was. It was after a game many years ago, and I always kept it. I framed it. I never thought of, hey, let's meet up and have you sign it. It's still not signed, so hopefully I'll get it signed one day. I saw him at the winter meetings this year and didn't even think to bring the jersey down there, knowing damn well that he might be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So I'm planning a trip in July up to Cooperstown again, and maybe I can watch the ceremony live.
He was such a special player, and from a complete game too. I watched him. I watched him with the Royals, with the Astros. Congratulations to him, man. What a special player. But Hooks, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna just look like
because our boy Jorge, who's a big Carlos Beltran fan, we're congratulating Carlos Beltran. Does he deserve the Hall of Fame, Hooks?
So here's what I know about Carlos Beltran: is he definitely, him and Cora definitely had a lot to do with the sign stealing scandals that went on with Houston. And let me tell you, like, every team steals signs, but every team doesn't do it electronically during the game and let the players know what's going on. I don't think that they were the only one, but I think that they definitely got caught doing it. And he lost his job with the Mets, 4 days after he was named the manager, because that stuff came out. So overall, he had a good career, a really good career. He played with a bunch of teams. And I wonder, like, you say, hey, this guy's one of our all-time greats. I mean, I feel like he played for so many different teams that he's never going to be remembered as someone's all-time great. So, what team does he go in with? Did he say?
I don't know if he said. I mean, I'm hoping the Mets, and I get what you're saying. He had great years, what propelled him to the big contract with the Mets when he was with the Astros. And that's when it was his coming out party
Or with the
defensively,
with the Royals?
playoffs.
With the Royals?
Well, no, I
Royals.
mean, with the Astros is really when
Yeah.
he put together a playoff run and showed, that he could deliver in
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's important to teams now, right? Especially the Dodgers. You don't care about how you do in May and June. It's all about October. So I think that, he could potentially decide to go with the Mets. But you never know. We'll see.
Does he deserve the Hall of Fame hooks? Because he cheated just like Pete Rose cheated. If Pete Rose doesn't deserve the Hall, does Carlos Beltran deserve the Hall?
Okay. Pete Rose violated the betting rules as a manager and definitely affected games for years.
So did the trash cans.
And hey, as much as I hate, as much as I dislike the Astros, and he was clearly he was the only player named in the whole report. The answer is I don't think it's the same kind of deal as betting on baseball. I think it's you cheated because I think everybody still signs. I don't think it's just. I think there was a bunch of teams that were doing the electronic crap.
You don't think a lot of people were gambling?
What's that?
I don't know about gambling.
Well, we don't know. I
True.
know, but we can't draw our line in the sand and say Pete Rose's crime was more egregious than Carlos Beltran when they both impacted the game, though. They both impacted the result of the game. And you can maybe argue that that incident cost the Dodgers, your Dodgers, a World Series win, right?
Sometimes suffering makes for a better story. So my Dodgers didn't win in 17, but they're doing good. They're in the last.
Do you
five.
think
think
that
he
Pete
deserves-
Rose?
I think he deserves the Hall of Fame, just like I think Pete Rose deserves the Hall of
No.
Fame. I'm not going
Rose-
to waffle the
Never.
fence.
Listen, do you think Pete Rose ever bet against his team or bet in a way that he could manipulate? Because, I mean,
We don't know.
if you say I'm betting on winning, you can't manipulate that, right?
Yeah,
Right,
you
but
can
you're
betting on
absolutely
losing.
manipulate that. You can leave pitchers in longer, make decisions that you're trying to win money that are different than the long-term success for your team. Absolutely.
Okay. So prop bets, things like that. Okay. I understand. I get that.
Let's roll yeah.
No, I'm not even saying prop bets. I'm saying like if you use that pitcher a little bit longer than what you should have, and it's going to hurt him the next start, that you don't bet on it. It's impacting the game.
Right. No, but what the Dodgers did, listen, I mean, it's baseball. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? I get it. However, gambling is an unwritten rule, and you just don't do that.
No, it's a written rule.
I think, well, yeah, written. But you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those cardinal rules that you just don't break. But when it comes to knowing what pitch is coming, if you have Paul Skeens going up against you tomorrow, do you think that all the hitters know what percentage of his pitches are what?
That's all relative.
They're going to know on every at bat. You get eight pitches on an at bat if you're lucky, right? If you work the at bat well, that's the goal. 8 pitches. You know that you're going to get X number of fastballs, X number of curveballs, statistically, right? So they use technology. I get it. Other teams probably do, and they just didn't get caught. I don't think it was as egregious as another type of cheating. Steroids are worse than that a lot. But like you said, they're all stealing signs. I agree with that too. But see, I still feel like that gives you an individual advantage in a physical way. Whereas maybe knowing what 3 pitches out of your bat might be, just because you know a fastball is coming doesn't mean you can hit it, right? Or hit it for a base hit or whatever. So I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Yeah, you don't even know what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. What about Andrew Jones? What's everybody think about Andrew Jones?
He's a cheater. No, he's an alien.
I think he was obviously defensively one of the greatest that ever played, right? And he absolutely hit some tanks. I think you got to be careful because we've already, he's a Hall of Famer, right? But you got to be careful because I was looking through some of the Hall of Fame ballots, and they actually gave 3 votes went to Rick Porcello. Anybody remember him? Rick Porcello. So I think, it's just modern time. He had less than 2,000 hits, Andrew Jones. Just depends on what metric you do. And since we've proven on this podcast, we like to move the field goal post on like what we determine like ethical cheating and not. I'm going to say yes, he deserves the Hall of Fame vote But I think collectively speaking, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He was so awesome to watch, though, man. He was
Yeah.
awesome.
I guess he was impactful, maybe, and that's what stays in the mind of in the memory of the writers and the fans. The impact he had in the games, especially remember they were always in contention. They were always in contention.
Yeah.
The Braves were mostly because of their pitching, but they were always there in October, and so more people saw him having an impact in games than they did a lot of other players during that era.
And he was surrounded by such great players, I mean, Chipper Jones and those three pitchers, whatever nickname they called them back then, I forget now. I mean, they were just, you're right.
4 or 5 of
He
those
had
pitchers.
A lot of.
So the notes I had was his D was phenomenal, and he was on stack teams. So both y'all hit exactly what I was going to say, and should be in the Hall of Good. And it's not a knock on him. He was really good. Like he's non-generational. Like we know who he is. Hall of Good.
Well, he's about to be. The Hall of Fame Museum is like busting at the seams. So the 4th floor, I think it is a bunch of, or maybe the 2nd floor, one of the two, is just like a bunch of bobbleheads. So the whole floor is just filled with bobbleheads and little knickknacks and things like that. So maybe, the people that belong in the Hall of Good need to be next to the bobblehead displays instead of with the real players down there.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go too far, let's talk about some of our 2 or 3 favorite catchers and 2 or 3 favorite first basemen.
Yeah, we're going to do, to those listening, I think is a good idea leading up into the baseball season. We're going to do our top 5, or if you will, at each position. So this week we're going to be going catcher and first base. I'll just start with catcher. Obviously, I'll state one of them because everyone's going to have theirs, is Cal, right? He's going to be up there. He's a stud, MVP. But here's a guy that I want to throw up there. This is in my top 3. I actually had him second. Patrick Bailey for the Giants. And I'll tell you why. He hits a little less than league average, but his defense is so phenomenal. And this might be regressed with the ABS system coming in to play, with the pitch framing that we've talked about. But Patrick Bailey is might be surprise top 3, top 5 catcher. So I wanted to add that. I'll pass.
I didn't have him in my top 5. That's good. I agree with that. I'm going to add these 3 players that I think are general spec there. Will Smith. I mean, I think Will Smith is he's at the top of the list when it comes to catchers, and he has been for a while. Yanier Diaz, I think, has impressed me lately. Contreras, of course, has been doing really well. But one guy that I think it won't be in any of your lists, and it reminds me a little bit of how Yadier Molina used to dominate the game and control it. Alejandro.
Yep. He was my number 5.
He was my number 4. Dude,
okay.
That dude does not look like a baseball player. But man, he
can ball out.
He's smart.
Big fan.
Yeah. I won't even go because that's funny because I had Kirk in there in my number 4 because it's like if we talked about the top 30 as pretty catchers, like we'd have multiple backup catchers before we had him. But man, he's good.
Do you have anyone we didn't have?
Rushman from the Orioles, I think, is the only one I really had that.
Yeah.
And I think, hey, he's younger. He's a good one. It's see if the Orioles turn around. Wasn't that your team last year, Adam, or was that Jorge's team?
No, you're right. Good memory. I thought the Orioles were going to be an absolute juggernaut, and they fell apart big time.
So first base, I mean, dude, we could go. There's some good first basemen.
Who do you got?
I'm just going to throw the first one out there. Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah,
for sure. Another stud.
Yeah, and he's coming around. He had a little up and down fickleness to his career, but he's leveled out quite well. So, do you know he came up as a third baseman? I don't know if any of you guys knew that. He was going to be a third. Obviously, way too big for that. But, that's what his position was. I think this guy is going to be a stud for a long time. He already has been, but I think it will continue. I think that Bryce Harper, I like him at first base. I think he's proven to be healthier. And I think at the end of when it's all said and done, he'll be closer to Trout than he'll catch Trout and Ward, not be nearly as good as him. But I'm saying in counting stats, Bryce Harper. Yeah. Will you disagree?
Overrated.
Oh, whoa.
Overrated.
Dude,
he's protected in the lineup with Kyle Schwarber. I don't know. And most of these guys might be protected by somebody, but I don't know. He's just not clutch. He had 3 good clutch hits in his whole career that I can remember. I don't know how he gets his stats when they don't mean anything. And he just doesn't have impact in games anymore. I don't get it. Like, I don't get this guy. He's not a great defensive first baseman,
No.
you know?
But nobody is
But-
at first base, really.
Well, most people are better than him. and then when he throws big numbers that, you know, you pad some numbers and then some of those don't mean anything. I don't care for that. So whatever. He's not even on my top 5 at all. He probably wouldn't be even on my top 10. I'll tell you who else I got. Of course, I mean, you'll say this one later, so I'm not even going to say it, but Pete Alonso and Yandy Diaz are on my top 5. Pete Alonso, that boy can impact the game when it's on the line. So, and then I don't know if you realize that the Mets had like one of the top numbers of balls thrown into the ground when throwing the first. So he had to field the most balls out of the ground this year, or maybe it was last year, one of the two. So his defense has greatly improved in the last 3 years. I don't know why they let him go.
Who did he play for? Who did he play for, and where did he go?
Well, he's with the Orioles now, and shut your mouth. He should have. He should still be. He should have retired a Met.
That's
But
disgusting.
Yandy, yeah. But
Sorry.
Yandy Diaz, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, maybe he's like a little underrated. He's great, but we don't think, you know, there's players that are better than him. No, man. That's the most consistent dude. He had a terrible beginning to the season last year and still finished with great on-base percentage, great OPS. He won the Silver Slugger 3 years ago, I think it was. So you can't forget that. That dude, I hope he remains in Tampa Bay because it's fun watching him, and he's my wife's favorite player. I get it.
I was getting ready to
I
say
think that dude is as solid as it can get at first base.
Nice.
I really like that. That's somebody I did not consider. I will say this though. I went back and I looked last year by the metric of defensive run save by just going like because I just made the comment like who's really good at first base. This might be surprising. Ty France is the best by advanced fielding metrics, which are very fickle, depends on where you get them from. Ty France was number 1. You guys want to guess who's number 2? None other than Gold Glove finalist Spencer Steer, plays first base for the Reds.
Do you have him on your top 5?
No. Maybe next year.
MLB, where defense does not win championships.
All right, so we can't forget about Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 walk-off home runs in World Series. Like, he's good. He's
great.
All right, we got a lot of baseball to talk about still. So let's talk about your chump of the week and get off here.
Yeah, I'll let Jorge, you can kick it off.
Okay. I'm going to go with McDaniel because he leaves South Beach, gets fired. I heard, did he live? I don't know if he was homeless or what, but he leaves South Beach. He goes on a tour of interviewing for, you know, similar jobs to what he had. He probably showed up in flip-flops and sweatpants. That dude looks like a homeless narco trafficker. I don't know, man. He takes a job as an offensive coordinator in New York with Harbaugh. Like, what? You might as well just stay unemployed.
I thought he was going to San Diego.
Is he? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's
The
still
other Harbaugh.
unemployed. I just think he's the biggest chump. He's like one of those that got his break, like one of those finance guys that think they're so cool. He got his break. He made his money. Now he thinks he's like all this great and interviewing for jobs that are way out of his league. He's probably doing a terrible job at it. I think he needs to go bust tables, you know, down in South Beach somewhere. That's the chump of the week for me.
I guess he won't be coming on our show anytime soon. So mine is the Buffalo Bills are the chump of the week to run McDermott out of Buffalo. I mean, like, he's gotten them deep in the playoffs year after year. And I always say the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Mm.
And man, Bills Mafia, you guys may be going crazy if it gets worse. Because, I mean, they're talking about Belichick. They're talking about Joe Brady, who was their offensive coordinator. They're talking about Brian Daboll, who used to be the offensive coordinator. The names are really close. And it's like, man, McDermott was good. I don't know what you guys were doing.
It's strange. My chump of the week is a guy that can't stay out of trouble with the law. A wide receiver, Jordan Addison. It's cost himself millions of dollars. This was the 3rd arrest, I believe. No, 2nd arrest, 3rd infraction with the Vikings. They can't afford to pick up his 5th-year option. He dropped 7 balls last year. Just these mistakes alone it's costing that poor guy who's got some of the greatest talent in the NFL millions of dollars. So Jordan Addison, tighten up.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Next time we talk, guys, we're going to have our Super Bowl match.
Hmm.
So it's going to be fun. Wait, right?
Mhm.
We got 2 games left. Okay. So it's going to be fun to try and figure that out. Do you think that Super Bowl ticket prices are going to fetch that of what they did in Las Vegas this year?
Man, if Denver somehow wins
Yeah.
that one, those ticket
about to
prices
say.
are going to be insane.
Yeah. I agree.
Wait, where's the game at?
I don't know.
It's in California.
Nobody even knows.
It's in California. It's in California, right?
Is it in SoFi? But look
Okay, so who plays in SoFi? Look it up. If it is in SoFi,
Santa Clara.
Oh, it's in 49ers Stadium. That's right.
can
They
you
could've
imagine
played.
if the 49ers would have been there? Miami Hurricanes just played the college championship game in their home field. That was crazy. That reminds me of when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. That doesn't happen very often. You got to take advantage of those situations. 49ers blew it this year.
Yeah, well, no,
Happy to
sorry.
hear that.
According to you guys, Sam Darnold busted their asses this year, so it wasn't on the 49ers. It was that machine Darnold. Anyway.
You know it. Super Bowl Darnold. Let's go Seahawks.
Let's go,
Wait, what does it
Darnold.
say? No, not Rock Chalk. That's freaking Jayhawks. Okay, never mind. We don't know what the Seahawks say. We'll find out soon enough.
I'm
All
getting
right,
me a
great show,
Seahawks
guys.
shirt if they make the Super Bowl.
Hey, I know a Seahawk fan, one of my clients. So if they win, I know he'll be happy. Good show, guys. Until next week, to our listeners, thanks for listening and subscribing and doing everything you can to interact with us. You can hear us on any of your favorite podcast apps. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere else that you can find a social platform on. We'll be there. Until next week, thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Peace.
See ya.